Hello everyone, welcome to the introduction part of the makeup artistry tutorial. So this is the PDF of an introduction to makeup artistry. So it means it's the basics of makeup artistry. The things you need to know first about makeup, what you need to know in order to in order to be able to bring out a very good finished makeup look. Okay, so I'm going to be putting you guys through this PDF. So it's already written out already, but it needs explanation, so that is what I'm doing right now. So I'll have to explain the PDF, so as you read it and listen to the screen record explanation, it will make better sense. Okay, so I'm Beatrice. I'm a makeup artist, so I'm the one taking you guys in this makeup tutorial journey, and I wish you good luck. I really wish you good luck. So first thing first, in makeup artistry, you need to understand first the skin tone. You need to understand the skin. So the skin will be combination of the skin tone and the skin undertone. So when it says skin tone is just like your skin color, okay? And then the skin undertone is that someone who is fair can actually have a cool undertone. So it means that when you use a fair color, when you use a fair foundation on that person, like the person will carry it in the morning, it will be looking okay, but then in the night, because the person has a dark undertone, maybe in the night or in the evening, the makeup will be looking dark on the person. So it's not be looking like it's not. Don't mind because I'm laughing. It will not be looking like it is not the makeup that was really fair in the morning. So that is one thing about understanding, your undertone and your skin tone. So understanding your skin tone, in makeup language, you say shades. Okay, your foundation shades and skin. Don't mind me. So when it comes to you knowing the shade of foundation to use in your skin, the thing is that first, as you know, one thing, there are some skin tone that there's I don't know how to put it. You can never take one foundation and get that skin tone. Most times you need to combine two foundations in order to get a skin tone, and that is why you have some people with a medium color, skin color. And when I say medium, some people call it chocolate color, something like that. So you might not really get a foundation, and as a beginner, when you are starting your makeup stuff, maybe as a beginner who doesn't really have all the income to buy everything, makeup. One thing about makeup products, you don't buy, I don't know for others, but as much as I know, you don't buy makeup products once at a time. There are some products you buy and you never use. Okay, so you buy and buy and buy and continue buying. So when it comes to foundation, you might want to start small, and then I'm talking about people who want to go into the business. Now I'm not talking about someone who is doing, because I know that some people here want to learn just to make themselves up, and some people here are for business, because makeup artistry is inclusive of you doing it on your own self and then you making it professional, making it as in order to gain income from it. So me talking in the side of the business aspect, yes, there are sometimes you need to take like 3 shades of foundation in order to get one particular color of somebody. Sometimes you need to take like 2 shades. It's not must. When I say 3, it's not like it's a must, but I'm just saying that you just need to understanding the skin will make you to be, it will help you not to make the mistake of after doing your makeup, then the face will be fair and the body is black. I don't know if you get me. Or the face will be dark and then the body is fair. You understand? So, and one thing about makeup artistry is that you need to practice. Practice automatically makes perfection. Is in everything, inclusive on this thing, inclusive on makeup artistry. So you just need to practice. So you practicing will help you to get better at it. Okay. So in understanding your skin tone and also the foundation to use for your skin tone, this is not a video, but for it, you don't just bring your foundation and then go to your hand and check the foundation. You don't do that, because for almost everyone actually, your hand might be fairer than your face or darker than your face. You understand? So one thing that you need to do in order to get a shade for I'm talking about skin tone now, not skin undertone, is beside your jaw. Under your cheek. That is where you check your foundation. Okay, in the video that I made, and I'm sure I think I included it. So there you actually see how I did it. And okay, so that is how you get to know. So you don't start at the forehead, because the forehead is most times can be lighter than your cheek. So when you try the forehead, so the place you're going to try, because you want to make your face to blend with your neck. So you are not going to just be particular about the face only. You want the face to blend with the neck and the body. So it does not look like this person is another person entirely. So you need to do it under your cheek. You test it there. If it rhymes with your neck and then the face of that's the side of your cheek, that means it is going to go. Okay, so that is how to get your skin tone shade. Your skin color foundation shade actually. So these are the type of skins that we have, and obviously we have the foundations. And most times you don't, as I'm talking in the line of making this makeup your business, most times you might not, as a starter, you might not buy all the whole sheet of foundation. You can buy 3 and then you mix them. Foundation are being mixed. Okay, because in that I actually did that in the video that I did, so that you can understand that it is not a must that you get all the whole. There's no even how, because there are still some people's face that even when you are done getting all the whole sheets, you still have to mix foundation. So that is that. In case you have any question, you can still ask me if I have not answered. If there's a question you want me to answer. So that is that for your skin tone. Now for skin undertone. Is just okay. So here now I explain how for you to in the PDF for you to know your skin undertone, the warm, the cool, and the neutral. The neutral is basically someone who doesn't actually have an undertone. It means if the person is fair, the person is fair. It's not that the person is fair, then you use a fair foundation and then the person starts looking dark or fair. So, but for someone who has a warm undertone, that kind of person is someone that when you use a foundation on the person, for a warm undertone, when you use a warm foundation, then when the foundation stays, it depends on the foundation also. So we're not talking about foundation now, but later we can still talk about the foundation aspect about warm, which is the first thing here. The warm undertone actually is for someone who is maybe someone that is normal, someone that has a normal fair face, and then the person now has a warm undertone. When you use a foundation that is very fair on the person, maybe in the morning, and it stays like 4 or 5 hours on the person's face, you see that the person's face will start looking more fairer than it is. So this is where using a little foundation actually helps, because when you use a lot of foundation and then you find as I'm talking right now for people who are going to use makeup as business, because using makeup as business, every client that comes to you, my dear, you're not going to ask the person, do you know your undertone? And you might not have the chance to come and be checking the person's vein, come and be checking, silver earrings in order to get the person's undertone. You might get a work of you have to do 5 people makeup just now for a traditional marriage stuff. I'm not talking about ashebis or all that. Let me just say that, okay, these are invitees, or how would I put it, traditional marriage invitees. How would I put it? So I but then you have to do their makeup for them, and you just have, let me say, 3 hours to do 5 people's makeup. You're not come and start asking them, what is your undertone? So that is where it comes in. That is where using small products, little products actually comes in. When you pack too much foundation on someone's face, and then you're not sure if the person has a cool or warm undertone, and you're not sure if the person you're not sure if the person has a neutral undertone where there's not going to be a change of face after the person wears that makeup for a long time. You just need to use a small foundation. I mean a small amount of foundation. Packing products in the face or packing foundation in the face is now old-fashioned. It is what they used to do like 4-5 years ago, but right now, doing a very good face doesn't necessarily mean that you need to pack foundation in the person's face. Okay, you want to do a makeup transformation, that means you now come and pack foundation and put the person's face. No, you're not going to do that. You need to use a little foundation. So it's going to actually help you. I'm talking about the people that are going to use makeup as business. I'm repeating it so that you as someone who is just learning to do on your own self, you can actually discover your skin undertone by your vein. You saw it here. You are seeing it here. By your vein. If it is lightly green, then or olive, then you have a warm undertone. And then if it is bluish, if it is blue-green, you have a neutral, and if it is purple, you have a cool undertone. So you can check for yourself. But then, as someone who wants to do makeup professionally, you can't go out and be asking your clients. You might not have that time to be asking your clients that. So that is where using a little foundation helps. Okay, using a little foundation does not mean that you use foundation. Okay, thank God that there's a practical video, so you are going to see. I'm going to also explain it there how you can use a little foundation and then it will be able to give you a full coverage and you still get what you need instead of packing so much foundation on the person's face. Okay, so you can still ask me any question if you have any questions that I have not tackled. Then I'm just trying to make this thing short because of storage and MB. Okay, so back to now, we are going into the suitable skin tone and skin undertone, best makeup that is suitable for skin tone and skin undertone for the fair. So the first thing here is for the lipstick. So for the fair here, you're seeing light pink, light peach. One thing is that nude is always sweet, but there are still some people who want to do all this extravagant makeup. It is not bad. So when you want to go for an extravagant makeup, you need to understand colors. You don't just go so wild in using different kind of color and then your face will be full of colors. No, as a fair person, you don't need to be using so many unreasonable colors. I hope you understand what I mean. But here you can see that golden brown is so good for a fair. Red is always good for everybody. Then light peach, light pink is so good for the fair people. Then for medium, For the medium, here you see a medium pink. A medium pink is so good for a medium color person. And then orange peach. Orange is so good for medium. I mean, very, very good. If you start doing makeup, you are actually going to say, and even if you see makeup looks, of medium color people, you see that orange are actually so good. And then apricot is good too. Then for the olive color, dark rose, berry, dark red, dark apricot. So it doesn't mean that you can't use other colors apart from these ones that are stated here. Just like I said, one thing is I just want to, this is kind of a little bonus. It's not a bonus, but it's me just giving you an advice here as someone who is concerned about people she's teaching. So makeup artistry, when you just saw the last name of it, artistry, it is an art. It means that you have to be creative. You just need to be creative. Okay, it's good to draw inspiration from others, but then there is that uniqueness of your own work. You understand? Makeup is an art. Okay, it's not something that it is a must that you do 1 + 1 in order to get 2. No. Sometimes you need to do, there's just, and right now there are just so many hacks that you need to do, and then you're still going to come to a finished look. So it is an art actually. So you need to be creative. You need to actually think. So when you are doing someone's face, you need to think. You look at the face. You need to think of the color, and also if it's someone who is wearing a colored cloth, don't need to use a lipstick or an eyeshadow that is so off on the cloth. Maybe the person is wearing black. The person is actually wearing black. Let me just use black. Black is plain. Then you are using, maybe the person is wearing black and then maybe a black and a white shoe, and then you are using yellow on the mouth, and then you are using pink on the eyes. It's going to look somehow, right? You imagine it. So you're going to be creative when it comes to you doing makeup on people, even on yourself too. So as makeup being an artistry, how like makeup is an art actually. Okay, so even there's special effects that is an art, and then even because some people will be thinking that okay, just do makeup so that you'll be fine. Now it's a very big art because you need to be creative in order to make that face to become beautiful. Doing beauty makeup is also an art. It's not just the SFS or the artistry ones where people draw stuff on their body. That is just the art. Even makeup, as to make someone, to beautify someone with makeup is also an art. So it means that you need to be creative. Your brain should always be on the go of thinking out the right things to do. Okay, you can see someone's work and you want to recreate, but it doesn't mean that you will always be recreating people's work. You should also be creative in getting your own kind of look. That is what makes you unique. Okay, so now I think that is that. If you still have questions, you can still ask me. I am here for you. So we go for the eyeshadow. So for the eyeshadow is also the same thing with the lips. Okay, and just like I talked about clothes, you look at the cloth the person is wearing. It's not a must that if the person is wearing black, you use black eyeshadow. No. Eyeshadow is also, and then now I'm talking for people that you see this business of, because I'm in the line of a professional makeup artist, so I also know that almost everyone here is for the business, right? So that is why I'm particular about trying to, explain these stuff. So when you want to make a client up, you don't just go with your own sense. You understand? You ask the person, what kind of eye do you always like? Do you like subtle eye or do you like extravagant eye? Don't go with your head. You might like something that is subtle and the person is someone who likes something that is so shouty. So you going with your head, you are not the one that wants to be, you're not the one that wants to be satisfied. It's your client that needs to be satisfied, right? So you're going to ask your client, what do you like your eye to be like? The person now be like, oh, I don't know, just do something that you know that's going to look nice. Then you can, ask the person, okay, what kind of makeup look do you like? Stuff like that. And from there you can get the inspiration of how to do the eye. If you are to use a shouty eyeshadow or if you are to use a subtle eyeshadow. And the color of cloth also goes a long way in helping you to. You can go with the color of cloth and then the mouth will be different, something like that. You can go with the color of cloth. It helps in you choosing your eyeshadow, and and also your brain working also very well can, in order to match colors and match what suits the face, will also go a long way in helping you get a very good eye look. And then, just like I said, practice. The more you practice, the more inspiration you get on knowing how you'll be doing your eyes. Okay? So for foundation, I mean, I talked about foundation in skin tone. So right now, I'm not going to say so much on this foundation, please. Okay. Pretty. Okay. So I think I've said. So honestly, I think I've said everything about foundation in that skin tone area. So here, there's nothing really much to talk about. Please, if you have any questions, any at all, just ask. I am here to answer you. Okay. So I'm also going to okay, when it comes to this makeup stuff, okay, we are going to explain it will be in the video, so I'll just keep this one short. So now we are going to go into the makeup kits as a beginner, what a beginner needs in their kit. First and foremost, you need a primer. A primer is what is going to make your makeup to last. A good primer, actually, because in the market there are some primers that is as good as you didn't get them. But as a beginner who wants to start small, and you don't have money to buy 8K, and that is what I did in that video. The video I did is basically how you are going to achieve a very good look with an affordable, makeup product. So I don't want to give, because some people, the reason some people have not really entered into makeup business is because they still think that they need to get this amount of money before they start. They think they need this 300K kind of something before they start. But it's very, very amazing that you can start your makeup business with 50K. It's possible. And then from there you grow. In case you don't have that amount of money to start buying a 100K foundation, you understand? Or you don't have the money to buy a 50K foundation or a 20K foundation, you can begin with a 5K foundation, a 7K foundation, and you get a very good makeup look. But first of all, what will help you is a primer. You need to get a very good primer. It is better you buy a very good primer in order for your foundation to stay, instead of buying, let me say, a very expensive foundation and then you don't have a very good primer to make it work. Primer and foundation goes along. I mean, primer is the bedrock of your face. Primer is what makes it swallow the makeup, and the makeup fits your face. So without a good primer, your makeup is going to be useless. Just like when during the dry season, when there's so much sun, and then you just use or maybe you don't even use primer at all, or you use anyhow primer. You finish your makeup 2 hours after your makeup, everything will be shedding. You don't want that kind of thing. So you need to get a very good primer. In the video okay, don't worry. Even when I'm explaining the video, I'm still going to do a video of the products I use, so you see the primer. And I'm also going to do like a screenshot of the kind of primers to buy that are also good. Okay, so the second thing is bronzer. Bronzer is just to highlight your face for your highlighter. What I mean highlighter is just to give the face a very good highlight, a very good fancy highlight on the highlight places. That's your forehead, your cheek, and your nose. So that's the bronzer. And the blush is for the cheek. It's not a must. That's one thing. It's not a must that you're going to use a red blush. In a blush palette, I'm going to screenshot a blush palette so that you see that it is not just red blush that's because for someone who is very fair, using a very thick red blush, you'll be looking like that person has a little punch of, you will not be looking fine. So, okay, don't worry. What I'm going to do, I'm going to screenshot a blush palette for you to see that in every face you are going to we are going to have kind of blush you use for the person. It's not everybody that is dark red that you will use, because blush is actually supposed to be red, then you use red. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but for blush is to make the cheeks to be very fine. It actually adds a lot of beauty to a makeup look. So blush is really necessary, but it's not everybody that likes blush. So for someone who is starting and you just want to start small, it's not a must that you have blush. Don't mind me, but I'm just saying it's actually a must that you have blush. There are some people who doesn't like blush, and there are some people who want blush. Okay, so there are even some people who actually do their makeup by themselves and they don't add blush. You understand? So blush is actually important, but not really, 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 really important. You understand what I mean? But that doesn't mean that you cannot have blush. You get me back? Okay, so foundation and then the concealer. The need of foundation is also just like one of the important. I would like to say is also very important, very, very, very important. And the foundation you choose is also important. So I am going to list the beginner friendly foundations that you can use. Okay, so for foundation, you need to choose a very good foundation for yourself, so that you will not be someone who does makeup and then in 3 hours the makeup is already looking somehow. Foundation plays a very good role in the face look. Okay, so it's good to get a good foundation so that you have a very good finished look. Okay, so when it comes to foundation also, that is when it comes to the skin, it's not added here, but I'm just going to add it here, right? So you have people who has oily skin and people who has matte skin. So foundation also and the primer goes a very long way in helping these two skins. Okay, so for someone who has an oily skin, you need to use a matte foundation for the person. And for someone who has a matte face or a matte face actually, or oily face, you understand what I mean? So for someone who has a matte skin or matte face, you need to use a foundation, an oily there's nothing like oily, I don't know how I'm going to put it, but a foundation that is not matte. You also have medium shade. So I'm going to list foundations like Zickel has a matte and a normal foundation. They even write it in the body of the foundation. You see a matte and then they have the oily one. And then for Maybelline also has matte. So many of them does that. So you need to get that kind of foundation. You have to have a matte foundation. And so for people who has an oily skin, you use it for them. And also the primer goes a long way. So when it comes to these two types of skin, I'm going back to the primer aspect now. For someone who has a very, 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 very good oily skin, you use a matte primer. A primer that is going to be able to soak up the oil. And then when you now use a foundation that is matte, it will now help the face. Yes, it will now help the face that's oily, so that it will not be like 2 hours after the makeup. Sorry, the face is now looking so oily. You understand? So that is it. And it's not that okay because the person's face is oily, then you go and use extra matte. The person's face will become the person. It will be the person like the person is carrying a load on the face, and that is how it also goes with when someone has a matte face and then you are using a matte foundation for the person. You'll be looking so awkward because the person's face will be dry. I mean automatically dry, because the person has a dry face. A matte face means a dry face. The person has a dry face and then you are using a dry foundation. You are using too much primer that is going to make the person's face be dry. The person's face is just going to look like it will be so dry, and it's be looking like this person is carrying mask. That kind of thing. So it is something to pay attention to. In case you have any question, you can still ask me. Then the highlighter, and then for your concealer too, you have to get a very good concealer. There are some concealers that are not really good. And then just to give you a little expo again, when you buy a new product, don't test it on your clients, please. Don't test it on your client first. Test it on yourself. Because you don't want to use a product that is not good on your clients. You understand what I mean? Because there are sometimes you get a product, you don't know how it is, and then the first place you are trying to test it is on someone, and then it might end up that the stuff is now bad. You now have to be fighting your way to get to look for a way around everything on a client that is going to pay you. You understand? So when you get a product, test it on yourself, see how the makeup looks, and then you can now use it on a client, or you can test it on your friend or your sister or anyone, but not your client, so that when you are out to do a job, to do a makeup on someone, you already know that okay, this product actually can work for this face. You understand? Okay. So where was I? Yeah. And for mascara is really needed. It's really needed. And the eyeliner also is also very important. It helps elongate the eyes. And for eyeshadow is important, very important. Eye pencils are important. Eye pencils are something that I'm going to also talk about. I think, eyeliner, eyeshadow, eye pencil, they go a long way. When you are buying, please don't go and buy eyeliner that is like nylon. There are some eyeliners that are like nylon. What I mean by nylon is that small things like this, the eyeliner has removed. So when you buy, you check it, and when you rub it, if it's something that dries so quickly and then wipes off, don't use it on your client. And then for eye pencil too, there are some eye pencils. Okay, because when you want to buy eye pencil, right, try to get an eye pencil that is, how will I put it, that is not soft. Okay, when you get eye pencil that is soft, there's how it makes the brows to look. It doesn't make it look fine. Okay, so get an eye pencil that is not soft. Okay, so like Davies, there are some of Davies that are too soft for you to use. Okay, for a client, you can use on yourself if you want, but for a client who you know that you're going to sell to pay me a certain amount of money, and you want other people to come back because of that particular look you did on that client, you don't want to use a very soft eye pencil that is going to look so oily and wet on the person's eyebrow. So you need to get an eye pencil that is good, that is dry. If you are someone that eyebrow pomade, that you love eyebrow pomade, you can go for eyebrow pomade. They are also good. Then for eyeshadows actually are very important, just like I said before. And there are some eyeshadows that doesn't actually stay. Okay, so you be mindful of the kind of eyeshadow you buy, because there are some eyeshadows that there's no amount that you put on your eye so that it will lap. And it's always kind of very
shimmery. It's not shimmery. But how will I put it? It's kind of, it doesn't used to lap. That is what I mean. So when you get an eyeshadow, if it's an eyeshadow that you can test, try to put your hand inside. If you try to rub it and it rubs off immediately, just like the eyeshadow is not good. But it's something that when you put your hand inside and then you try to rub it off and it's still there, then you know that it is something that is taking. So try to buy an eyeshadow that is actually pigmented. It helps a lot. It helps a lot to give you a very good eye look. So for brushes are everything, because you need to use brush for your face, obviously, for your powder, for your concealer, for everything. And for the brows is recommended, especially for beginners, to do the eye and brow first. Why? Is because as a beginner, it's better you do your brows and then your eye first. I know there's the method of doing the face, and after the face, then you do your brows and your eyes. But as a beginner, you might not be fast enough, or might not know the technique of how to do because you need to actually blend the concealer that you use in concealing your brows. So if you are not able to if you don't know yet how to blend concealers, if you finish the face first before you do your eyes, for you to blend the concealer for you to blend the concealer, in order for the foundation and the concealer to blend together, so you won't have harsh lines, it's going to be hard. And for you to do your eyes, when you already have your makeup, you might pour eyeshadow on your face, on your client's face, or on your face. But as a beginner, it's always preferable that you start first with your brows and eyes before your face. Then when you keep on practicing and becoming better, you can now try the method of doing face before your brows and your eyes, and then whichever now works for you, you can go with it. So that is it. Then for brushes are very, 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 very important. Very important. One thing is that when you want to buy a brush, just make sure that you buy a good brush. There are some brush that when you are using it is shading out. I mean, there are some brushes that are not that original, that when you are using it, you'll be seeing the reason to be coming out. So when buying brushes, you just need to be careful of the brush you buy, so that you won't waste your money buying something that doesn't make sense. I don't know if this makes sense. I mean, hope it's clear enough. So for lip products, you make sure that you buy, there's lip primer, there's lip conditioner, there's lip liner. For lip liner is basically your eye pencil. You can use an eye pencil for your lip liner. You can use a brown lipstick for your lip liner, whichever works for you. You can use, there's lipstick palette that you can also use. So whichever one you want and whichever one you can afford. For lip primer, as a beginner and you want to start affordably, you can do a full makeup without a lip primer. The only thing you need is just a lip. There's a conditioner. There's also all this Vaseline in order to moisten the lip for people that has a hard lip or dry lip. Okay, then setting spray. Setting spray is really important. Make sure you invest your money. How let's say invest your money is an investment, obviously. So make sure you put your money into buying a setting spray that is good. There are some setting spray that is like water. Okay, but there's some setting sprays that are obviously good. So just like I said, I'm going to list affordable and good brand makeups that you can purchase your makeup stuff from, and you'll be good to go. So I wish you luck and see you in the practical class or practical tutorial. See you. Bye.